Hello, SquawksHead here, welcome back to the channel. So for this video I'd like to take a step away from the K50 for a moment because I really want to go through a startup tutorial of this fantastic little helicopter. It's been created by Polychop Simulations for DCS and it's the Bell OH-58D Kiowa Warrior. It's such a fantastic little platform. I've only really recently started delving into it, obviously, because it's a recent release. I've had a look at the manual and I just want to share the startup procedure with you. You may or may not already have this module, and if you do, you must be having as much fun as me. It's absolutely fantastic. So without further ado, let's jump into the cockpit and get this thing started. So here we are in the cockpit, and what a magnificently modelled cockpit it is as well. Look at the detail here. Well done, Polychop. I think you've done really well here. Really impressed. Right, so the first thing we need to make sure of, and this startup procedure is done from the manual. So if you want to see the procedure I'm following, have a look at that. So if you have a look over here, we've got this start run essential bus switch. We need to make sure that's in the start position because that's going to supply power to the battery's emergency bus, which is used by the FADEC, which we're going to switch on now. So if we go over here, if you look up the top, and it's quite hard to do in my track IR, but there it is, there's the FADEC switch. Switch that on, and that stands for the Full Authority Digital Engine Control. Pretty self-explanatory there. That's powered by the emergency battery bus when we're like in this situation. But when the the rotors are turning and it's powered up, it'll be powered by the permanent magnet alternator, PMA as they call it, when the NP, or the percentage power of turbine speed, is greater than 85%. So there you go. Bit of detail for you. So next, if we go over to the ignition switch, we can switch that here. You just see it on this panel. It's quite hard to do in my track IR. There we go. Ignition on. Obviously that supplies electrical power to circuit breaker system and so on. Down by the collective here, just to the right of it, now you can bind a key to remove the collective, which I've done here. You'll see this key and we need to turn that on. Let's bring back the collective. Next we need to turn the battery switch on. Okay, switched on. You can see, there we go, the MFD's up online, and we've got caution and some warning notices. We can clear those away. So we'll do that now with this acknowledge switch, and there you go, there's an audible warning. So clear them away. If you ever want to get them back to see what was said, then all you have to do is right click that switch there and it'll bring it back. So clear them away. And now you can see that the multifunctional display, or the MFD, has come on with the battery. Next, you can see that the RFD, the remote frequency display, which are the radios, that's come on there on our left. Also, these have lit up and we've got some readings, and these are called the VSIs, or the vertical scales instruments. And importantly, this readout here, this is called the multi-parameter display, or the MPD, and we can select through this MPD to get different values, different readings, and we'll be doing that shortly. Next, we need to bring the throttle to idle. Now this will be bound to an axis. If we slowly pull up the axis, you'll see this little button here pop up. There you go, it pops up, and then we can bring it back to idle, and it won't let you turn the throttle any further down once that pops up. Really useful feature. Next, all we need to do is we need to click the starter, and that's 2 seconds on this switch here on the collective, and you should start to hear the engine spool up. Pretty quick to get going. The K50 obviously takes a bit longer. There's another warning, so we'll click that down. So it's a nice sort of luxury for us in this helicopter to be able to get the engine turning pretty quickly. There we go. Some more warnings. Let's clear them away with the acknowledge button. You'll get used to those. What we're waiting for is we're waiting for this NG to stabilise, and the NG basically refers to the exhaust gases, or the percentage of gas producing turbine speed, and we need that between 63 and 65%, pretty much all the time you spool this up, or every time you spool it up, this will come to 64.1, but that's where it needs to be. You'll see there's a vertical reading here that indicates that also, just under 65 there. Okay, once we've got to that position, we need to start turning some generators on. So if we look up here, right, let's try and move my mic so we don't lose you as I twist my head around. Here we go. So DC gen, we want on. We want the AC gen on. And we want the run essential bus on. And also the fuel booster pump on. Any cautions or advisories that come up, click them away. Acknowledge them. Okay, now we've done that, we need to put the particle separator in, which is this fuse here at the back. See that particle separator? Click that one in. What we need to do now is we can open up the throttle gently to the maximum position, fully open. And we'll do that slowly here. Okay. Here we go. Up, up, up. Now it's important we do it slowly, obviously. I want to overstress the engine as we do that. Okay, and you'll see, or certainly we heard a warning there, but there's no other warning signs up there. We'll acknowledge it anyway, just in case. Okay, you'll see the NG's increased, but what we're really interested in is this MPD here. So let's change the MPD to show us our NR and NP values. And these stand for, the NR stands for the percentage of main rotor speed, so think R rotor, and NP stands for the percentage of power turbine speed. And at the moment you can see they're at 99%. Well, we need those at 100. You can also see up here on this vertical scale that the NR is reading under 100 with those green markings there. So to bring it up, we need to go to the RPM trim switch, which is on the collective here. Click it once, maybe twice, because you'll see there it was varying between 99 and 100. So 2 clicks on that forward brings that up to 100%. And if you look over here, you've got this amber or yellow chiclet that indicates we are stable at 100%. So look for that. Next, if we head down to this SCAS here, you'll see SCAS, which stands for Stability and Control Augmentation System. Think of that as your trimmer control. You can power that one on. You can power the yaw, or engage the yaw and engage the pitch and roll. And this aircraft trims much in the same way, if you're used to the KA-50, as the KA-50 in the flight director mode. And if you want to see a video about the trimming system of the KA-50, do check out another video. So next we need to check the fuel quantity and engine torque, or certainly move the MPD to that. And we probably won't come off of this now. You can see that the fuel quantity is there on the left and the engine torque is on the right, and that's good to monitor during flight. Also, we can check on the MFD the INU alignment. Remember, these aircraft go through an INU alignment process. It's automatic in this helicopter. And just to check that it's completed, what we can do, we can get to this page here. If you're not already on this page, hit the Init button here, and then go to Nav Align, L1 up here, and you'll go across and you'll see this, you'll see this auto manual text here. Now, when the INU is aligning, there'll be a box around that, and once it's aligned, it'll disappear. So we're waiting for that box to disappear as it has now. It's quite a quick process, much simpler than some aircraft, so that's nice as well. So if we look to the back panel now, and again, we'll try and twist my head around here, you'll see there's some circuit breakers that we need to switch on. We need to turn on the IFF. We can turn on the radar system, so the radar detection circuit breaker, which is this one. And this one here is called the radar warning system circuit breaker. And when we turn that on, we're going to get some audible warnings. We're going to get a robotic voice going through self-checks and counting up to 10, I believe, before it stabilizes. So listen for that. There we are. We also need to turn on the L2 MUM system here. So if we switch that on, now that's the level 2 manned unmanned system. I'm really excited to see what this can do. It allows transmissions between other player controlled Kiowa warriors, so data, I think video and data, and also transmission from AI UAVs. Really excited to see that in action. Next, if we go up to the Common Missile Warning System circuit breaker, we can switch that on there. And if you look at the front panel, you'll see the Common Missile Warning System here. We can now turn that on, and again that'll go through some self-checks. Okay, we're pretty much done. There's a couple of things we can do to set up things like the mast-mounted sight, which is, you'll see on here, outside the aircraft, that big camera there that's facing backwards, that camera and laser. So to turn that on, let's cross over to the co-pilot seat here. Well, we'll certainly lean over. You can press MMS here. There we go. We can also bring this online by turning this knob to the forward position. There we go. And you'll see here we've got an image come up. Now, well, that's looking backwards at the moment, and we don't want that. So on the cyclic, or on the co-pilot cyclic, I think you can bind it on the pilot cyclic as well. There's a manual slave switch. And if you click that once, twice, look what happens. It turns round to the front. So that gets that ready. You can also arm or put the laser on standby. And over here on the L1 button, if you click that, you can change through the laser codes to get the laser code that you want. Let's do 1688. Okay, next we can we can do this in the air, or we could do it here, but we can arm the countermeasure system. So let's remove the collective. Okay, we can do that now. There we go. And you can see here we can arm the system. And in auto mode, as it is now, it'll release flares when it detects a missile launch. In bypass mode, we'll have to release them when it detects it. So you make your choice there. Lastly, we can turn this MFD onto the VSD page, and I've bound that. That's on my cyclic. So that's a switch. I switch it left, and there we go. There's the VSD page, or the vertical situational display. And that is it. Obviously, we can go through other things, like we can go through arming the aircraft, sorting out our radios, etc. And perhaps that's for another video. But if you just want to get this flying, it's as simple as that. So I hope this video has been of some benefit to you, and that you get to enjoy this fantastic helicopter as much as I am at the moment. So it's nice to have a bit of a break from the KA-50. I'm really looking forward to the Chinook release shortly, and expect some videos on that, certainly startup procedures, etc. So if you like the video, please do click a like. If you'd like to subscribe for more videos, then please do so also. And I will bid you adieu for now, and hopefully catch you in multiplayer sometime soon. Bye-bye for now.